The caravan plodded on, silhouetted against a sky still burning with the fire of a setting sun. Perched atop their camels, 3 Americans looked anxiously ahead, across the darkening sand dunes to their destination, the Pyramid of Khafra. Professor Burton stirred in his saddle and sighed tiredly. Well, there it is. We're almost to the end of our journey. It's a good thing, too. I'm getting a bit saddle sore, and I can't wait to find out why our first expedition disappeared. Professor Burton fell silent again. It had been many years since he had last been in the Nile Valley, and though this return elated him, he felt very perturbed at the cause of his return, the mysterious disappearance of the previous expedition. Professor, isn't that the famous Sphinx I've read so much about? Eh? Oh, yes, Miss Allen, that's the Sphinx of Giza. Melody Allen was a journalist, and the professor knew that she was hoping for more facts for her story. He turned to face the lovely woman. This Sphinx, Miss Allen, was carved from solid rock nearly 5,000 years ago. Its head is a portrait of King Khafra, whose tomb rests in that pyramid just ahead of us. This entire area is really a huge burial ground, and this Sphinx stands like a sentinel, guarding the tombs. The Egyptians tell fantastic stories about the Sphinx. Its surface has been worn away by the ravages of time, leaving a very strange, inscrutable expression, which has caused the Arabs to call it the Father of Terror. How weird! The caravan continued past the ever-silent Sphinx and came to a halt before the huge pyramid. Well, here we are. Perhaps we'll soon know what has happened to the first expedition. Do you have any idea why they all so suddenly vanished, Professor? The Egyptians took great pains to protect their dead, Miss Allen. They built this great pyramid as a tomb for King Khafra, then honeycombed it with secret passages and false burial chambers to mislead anyone who entered. We know from messages they sent us that the first group was on the verge of a monumental discovery. I believe they had stumbled upon a secret chamber or passageway that would lead them to the real tomb of King Khafra, and I think they must have become lost in the labyrinths. But that was months ago. How? How could they live? I hardly think we'll find them alive, Miss Allen, if we find them at all. Oh! Professor Burton turned and warily mounted the stone slab steps that led to the pyramid entrance. The others, in single file, followed close behind. We'll make a cursory examination of the interior while it's still light. It's just possible that we'll find something. Good idea. We can set up camp later. Their way illuminated by lamps, the small group muddled through a maze of passages and chambers, down long flights of narrow stairs filled with the stale, musty odor of air befouled by ages past. Haven't we gone far enough? We might get lost. Perhaps you're right. We'll rest here a moment, then make our way back to set up camp. I was hoping we'd find some clue to their disappearance. This place is like an oven, so hard to breathe. Maybe tomorrow we'll have better luck when we're rested. Professor, one of the Arabs just found something. Come quickly. Hurriedly, they scrambled through the narrow passageway. Good heavens, it's a secret panel. Maybe the first group found this too. Come on, we must find out. Lead the way, Abe. The little Arab cautiously entered the secret passage, followed by the others until all were inside. The professor shone his lamp around to discern the nature of it. Why, this passage is even narrower than the one we just... Professor, the panel is closing. We've got to stop it. In a group, they hurled themselves at the massive stone panel to prevent its closing to no avail. It's closed! We're locked in. My God. Good Lord, it's Arby. He's dead. What happened to him? I should have known. I should have known this passageway would have a booby trap. The Egyptians often guarded these passages with ingenious devices designed to kill anyone who enters. This one had a wicked scythe-like blade that would raise out of sight when the panel was opened, and after the person was inside, the panel would close, releasing the blade. What are we going to do? Professor Burton pulled a handkerchief from his pocket and wiped his beaded brow. I'm afraid we have no choice. We can't get out the way we entered. We must go forward. I guess you're right. Slowly, they inched their way through the passageway. Sweat soaked their bodies. Their breaths came in short, labored gasps. My God, what's that? I don't know. We're all here. No, wait, Ali is missing. Again, they hurried back through the tunnel until suddenly, look, on the ground, a pool of blood. But where's Ali? He's gone. He's disappeared. Professor, I'm frightened. Please get us out of here. Yeah, it's your fault. You got us into this, and I don't like it one bit. Please, we must be calm. Our only hope is to find another exit. For long minutes, they moved slowly onward. The passageway became wider, but the oppressive heat and shortage of air weakened them greatly. Look, steps going down. We'll have to go single file. Be careful. Preceded by the light of his lamp, the professor warily edged down the steeply inclined stairs. He felt Melody Allen's fingers gripping his shoulder tightly, trembling, down, deeper and deeper. Won't these stairs ever end? So tired. Wait, Professor, wait for Hassan! He had to rest. The shocking, blood-curdling scream froze them to the spot. For a moment, only the sound of their heavy breathing could be heard in the oppressive silence. They stared into one another's eyes. Then, without a word, they clambered back up the long stairs, knowing it was too late, knowing full well just what they would find. A pool of blood and no body. We're going to die. We'll all be killed. We'll all die, one by one. Well, nothing's going to kill me. I'm not going any further. I'm going back. I'm getting out. No, come back. You'll get lost. We must stay together. Come back. Let him go. Don't chase him. He has no light. He won't be able to see. You're right, he'll be back. Stay here, with me. I'm frightened. Just don't leave me. Professor Burton slumped weakly to the stone floor beside the sobbing girl. He cradled his head on his arms and stifled a cry of anguish. The lack of air caused his head to pound and his chest to ache. They waited in silence. They waited, listening, hoping, praying. Time stretched endlessly, each second feeling eternal. Suddenly, echoing through the ancient passages of the pyramid, an agonized scream split the silence. Neither moved. They both knew it was hopeless. Their strength had become too precious to waste on a dead man they would never find. There's someone in here with us, I feel it. Those deaths weren't accidents. Someone removed the bodies. Who is it, Professor? Who is it? I don't know. I've been thinking the same thing. Someone or something is deliberately trying to kill us. But it's so fantastic. I can't believe it. Melody Allen struggled to raise herself. You said something. What? There's a legend about the Sphinx. They say that ages ago, a way was found to crossbreed a lion with a human, and the creature that developed lived for thousands of years. They say the Sphinx actually lived. They stumbled down the long flight of steps and along a dark corridor. But it was a vicious creature, and so terribly powerful as to defy description. And because there was no other use for it, they supposedly locked it in this pyramid to guard King Khafra's tomb. Nonsense! Probably some member of the first expedition hiding here, killing us. Hiding all the bodies. Hadn't thought of that. Maybe they found great wealth? Maybe someone became greedy? Yes. The professor's voice trailed off into the darkness. Before them stood an open door. Professor, be careful. Don't go in there. But this is it, Miss Allen. Behind this door lies the answer. I'm sure of it. We found King Khafra's real tomb. Together, they stepped through the doorway. Ah, I knew it! The mummy that was removed from this pyramid by our museum years ago was not the real King Khafra. This is the outer chamber to his tomb. There must be a secret panel. Professor, there it is. Over there. It's open. On hands and knees, they crawled slowly, nervously, under the hinged stone slab. They huddled together by the entrance, their bodies quivering with fear and expectancy, their hearts pounding. Professor! What is it? Where are we? What's in here? I was right. This is the authentic tomb of King Khafra. Look, Miss Allen. We've found it. Look at the wealth in here. Diamonds, rubies, silver, gold, a fortune. You were right, Miss Allen. Some member of the first expedition must have let this go to his head. He obviously wanted to keep it all for himself. I see it all now. My God. I wouldn't have believed this if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. These pearls are exquisite. I never thought there was this much treasure in the whole world. Magnificent. The workmanship is superb. And these hieroglyphics, I wonder if I can decipher them. A woman would sell her soul for such beautiful jewels. Let's see, in the 13th dynasty. This is easier than I thought. There came into being. Good Lord, it's true. The legend is true. What? What legend? What are you talking about? The legend of the Sphinx. The Sphinx lived. It says so on the wall. What of it? After all these years, surely you don't. They turned and stared in the direction of the sound. In the yellow light of the lamp, they saw a monstrous creature enter through the opening in the wall, a creature with the body of a huge lion and the withered, age-old head of a man. The girl slumped to the floor, and Professor Burton had time to emit one short, petrified scream before the Sphinx leapt.